here.
There's a lot of them, eh?
Yeah.
They never got a picture with their phone. I see Josh. Huh? Tell me you know somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you.
No.
Douglas, we used to live across the street from your mom and dad on 7th Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank and Margaret Douglas. We live right across the street. Your mom and dad lived next door to Johnson's while we were right across the street. Right? Never guess who this is.
Oh, I recognize you. Douglas, that's for sure.
Douglas, this is a brother. Margaret.
Charlene? Marley.
Yeah.
What's your married name?
Arsenal.
Oh, right. What's it?
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Joey.
Jody.
Yeah.
Jimmy passed away.
Jimmy passed away.
Charlene Perry beloved.
No, nothing was done. Charlene and Lori Johnson.
Oh, right.
Yeah. This thing we just printed them. Her and
Well, when Heather passed away, I think it was one of the heart charms came up to the funeral. I just had a knee replacement 4 weeks ago. Full knee replacement.
wow.
So do you see Judy and Hank in the car?
In Nanaimo? No, I did lose the first game, and then I quit going to the girls from there.
Benson loved very They played the bell.
Oh, yes.
I know. Maybe we missed the goals. No, we didn't. We watched it. And I haven't seen it, so it was envy. Make sure to go. Oh, that's why.
On the dinner table.
Oh yeah, she's coming to the but there was one night she was meant to have how nice that was last year. Do you remember? We said she's going to be there.
No, but none of them coming down and neither she could down.
Nope, there she is. I guess it's more easy to look at her. And now you're going to send them. Really easy. Turn it on when we get. Get set, Debbie.
She's looking good. Is that spicy?
I'd like to ask French immersion student and proud sibling to a grad, Connell Argy, to join me on stage for the next few pieces of this ceremony. Connell? Okay. Oh, yeah. On behalf of the community of Victoria High School, I'd like to recognize and acknowledge the Esquimalt and Songhees nations on whose traditional territories we live, we learn, and we do our work.
De la part de la communauté à l'école secondaire Victoria, j'aimerais remercier les Premières Nations Esquimalt et Songhees, la territoire de laquelle nous apprenons et travaillons.
Please rise and join the students of the class of 2013. Special guests, teachers, family members from afar, thank you for joining us this evening.
Nous remercions les invités, les professeurs et les membres de famille de nous joindre ce soir.
We begin our evening with a presentation of the students. Each grad has selected a quote that they feel best represents their journey to this point.
Nous commençons notre parcours ce soir avec les présentations des étudiants. Chaque diplômé a sélectionné une citation qui représente pour eux leur voyage scolaire jusqu'à ce point.
Connell, thank you for your contributions tonight. I know I could have you here all night to help me with quote translations, but I fear the temptation to wander from the script for your sister and some of her friends might be too great. So thank you. Please join the audience. Grade 10. I'm now going to turn the ceremony over to Vice Principal and Grad Advisor, Grant Boland, and Vice Principal, Ralph Walker.
Good evening, I'm Grant Boland, one of the Vice Principals, and it certainly is an honor to be up here for this exciting occasion, and welcome. Just before we begin the presentation of our students, a couple of points for you to know. We would ask, as difficult as it is, to please hold your applause until we introduce all the graduates, otherwise we might be here until midnight. It's a large class, as you can see. Also, once you see your son or daughter or a friend about to cross the stage or coming down from your seat, please feel free to come up front here for a good photo op. Ms. Falls will make sure that she turns them towards you so that you get a good picture of them in this momentous occasion. As is traditional at Vic High, we get members of our staff to introduce the students across the stage. I'd like to call on Ms. Martha Diedeker and Mr. Jack Pepley-Jones to introduce the first half of our presentation.
You have to be diligent with what you want. You have to apply yourself, motivate yourself. You have to do it for yourself, by yourself. Then you can do it for other people. Too bad, should go.
Amanda Rutledge. Thanks to all my friends and family for helping me through this path. We've all had our ups and downs, but everything happens for a reason. People change so you can grow. Things go away so you can appreciate them. And sometimes things fall apart, so things can fall together. Love you guys. Hannah Ruzeski-Bashford. Hannah would like to thank her friends, family, Mrs. Elbers, Madame Campbell, and Mr. Penty for a great 4 years at Vic High. Tim Sawyers. Life is not a destination but a journey. It's not a matter of milestones but moments. Thanks to my friends and family and teachers and parents for helping me get through Vic High. Shay Schultens. The road goes on ever and ever, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow it if I can, pursuing it with eager feet. J.R.R. Tolkien. Frederick Schreiner. The cure for boredom is curiosity. There is no cure for curiosity. Ellen Parr. Elijah Washington Schultz. I preferred if you didn't read my personal introduction. My name is Elijah, and I will no longer be here all week. Thanks, Mom and Dad, and thanks to all my friends who helped me get here.
Nikita Schultz. My mental health is more important than my GPA, and I made it out with my insanity intact. Taylor Scott. Delphine Sabra.
In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. Robert Frost. Shahak Nera. I would like to thank my mother for her love and support throughout the 4 years. My sister for taking the time to attend this ceremony and to be here today. It made my night. And to my father, I want to thank you for simply everything. To my peers, congratulations. Shelby Marie Montagnano. Mom, you have always been there through it all. You are the person I have to thank for becoming who I am. To my family, thank you. To my amazingly awesome friends and grad mates, we did it. Amy Placer. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way.
Delaney Purser. Delaney would like to thank her parents, family, and friends for believing in her, and to Mrs. Albers for all her help and guidance over the past 4 years. Mohammed Rashid. It's been a wonderful 4 years here. Thank you to everyone who has made it such a spectacular experience. Congratulations, class of 2013. Farron Reed. Farron would like to thank her family and friends who have supported her during every day and made it all she has possible. Her plans for the future include going to university and continue to make a difference in her community. Talia Seidman Reed. Right. Talia would like to thank her family and friends for their dedication and support. Thank you, Ms. Carey and Mr. Emmy, for bringing out the performer that she is today. Finally, I thank you every teacher in Vic High for creating and accepting an artistic place for all of us to enjoy. Brianna Shepherd Murphy. Mom. Mom, you always make fun of me for dancing while trying on clothes, but I'm going to dance while getting my diploma. Alice Janisa. I would like to thank my father, mother, Sarah, and my host mother.
Mr. Shedden, and our other retiring staff member, Mrs. Wong. I would like to introduce one other group. The group of grads sitting in the front 2 rows make up our student grad committee. I work closely with this group to basically guide them. They did not need a lot of leading. They did most of the work. And I just sort of hung around and advised them when they asked for it. But they were responsible for a lot of fundraising to keep the cost of the grants down and basically just trying to provide our grad class with activities to help with the bonding. So I'd like to ask our student grad committee to please stand up so we can acknowledge your work. My fellow vice principal, Ralph Walker.
Good evening. We now move to the invocation. There's a long-standing tradition for the graduating class to sing Bob Dylan's Forever Young. I would like to welcome to the stage our graduating Vic High singers, Talia Seidman Wright and Naomi Asnick. Tonight, our singers will be accompanied by 2 amazing musicians. Grade 12 Vic High student Megan Clark on the classical guitar and on the cello by retired Victoria Symphonist Mr. Larry Skaggs.
Stand
ceases to amaze me the talent we've got in our graduating class. Very fortunate to have two good friends of Victoria High School representing the school district to send a message. First up will be a message from the Greater Victoria School Board by Mr. Tom Ferris. He will be followed with a message from the Greater Victoria School District by Associate Superintendent Mrs. Deb Quirville. First of all, Mr. Tom Ferris.
Well, there's hope for me forever young. Never sounded better. Good evening, grads. You're looking very good. You're a very eclectic group of characters, and I loved all your words of wisdom. Thanks so much. Good evening also, parents, family, staff who are out there tonight to support these very deserving students. I wanted to say that I was in the Vic High Theater the other night to watch the dance program, and I was so impressed by the energy, the inspiring performance, and the fun everybody had. I think probably what inspired me the most, though, was the students who were catcalling, cheering, clapping, laughing, and supporting you in the dance program. It was so much fun. And I'm hoping that as you go on now to celebrate your grad, that you will continue to support one another. You never know, you just don't need it. So I wanted to say that this program, the dance program, so exemplifies kind of programs that Vic High is well known for doing for supporting students, and the kind of programs that require a lot of creativity, both from teachers and from students. So thank you all. The district is very proud of your accomplishments. Je voudrais aussi offrir mes félicitations à tous les étudiants qui ont reçu le bac en français. C'est réussi, bien fait. On behalf of the Board of Education, I wish to thank all the staff at Vic High for making tonight a possibility for many and for giving all of our students the tools that they need to make the next steps. Thanks so much.
Honored guests, parents and families, staff and graduates. It's an honor on behalf of the Greater Victoria School District to be speaking with you on this very significant occasion and to express our pride in your accomplishment. The completion of 13 years of schooling and the beginning of a new era in your lives. Tonight is a time for family and friends to share the joy that you feel at successfully achieving this milestone. Though your high school years are ending, you are beginning a different kind of learning and a different kind of life. Graduates, I understand from your principal, Mrs. Falls, that you are a strong and talented group of individuals, and the Vic High staff is really very proud of you. You are graduating from a school that values you, values your individuality, but also values having provided you with many opportunities to excel, whether in academics, performing arts, athletics, leadership, technology, and practical skills. As individuals, you have all had your own unique experiences during your time at Vic High. Your struggles have been different, your successes have been different. However, what you have in common is that you will always be alumni of Victoria High School, and that is something to be very proud of. As a graduate of Vic High myself, I know how much you will value that tradition of the excellent school you graduated from over the years. The staff and administration have worked very hard to ensure that each and every one of you have enjoyed your time and grown during the time that you have been here at Vic High. This commitment and dedication and partnership with your parents has nurtured your growth and helped you reach this milestone with confidence and pride. You are now facing your future with confidence and great expectations. But what will your future bring? Robert Hastings wrote a short piece called The Station, and I would like to share that with you. Tucked away in our subconscious is an idyllic vision. We see ourselves on a long trip that spans the continent. We are traveling by train. Out the windows we drink in the passing scene of cars on a nearby highway, of cattle gazing on a distant hillside, of smoke pouring from a power plant, of row upon rows of corn and wheat, of flatlands and valleys, of mountains and rolling hillsides, of city skylines and village halls. But uppermost in our mind is that final destination. On a certain day, at a certain time, we will pull into the station. Bands will be playing, flags will be waving. Once we get there, so many wonderful dreams will come true, and the pieces of our lives will fit together like a completed jigsaw puzzle. When we reach the station, what will that be? When I'm 18? When I put the last child through college? When I have paid off the mortgage? When I reach the age of retirement, I will live happily ever after. Sooner or later, we realize there is no station, no place to arrive at once and for all. The true joy of life is in the trip. The station is only a dream, and it constantly outdistances us. So stop pacing the aisles and counting the miles. Instead, climb more mountains, eat more ice cream, go barefoot more often, swim more rivers, watch more sunsets, laugh more, cry less. Life must be lived as we go along. So on behalf of the Greater Victoria School District, we wish each and every one of you the very best journey as you create your future. We also offer you our heartfelt congratulations on your graduation. Thank you.
Janice, for your inspiring words. I am pleased to introduce our keynote speaker for this evening. Our speaker is well known to our students and staff and many other people throughout the Greater Victoria School District. Over a career spanning 32 years, he has taught thousands and worked with hundreds in 6 different district schools. 9 years ago, he became a vice principal, spending 6 years at Esquimalt and the last 3 at Vic High. He is a skilled leader, a great teacher, and an all-around good guy. Retiring at the end of this academic year, he and his wife, Gail, will be splitting their time between Victoria, Charlottetown, PEI, and the sunny Mexican Riviera. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Grad.
Honored guests, parents, family, and friends, but most of all, good evening, grads. First of all, congratulations on finally taking care of business. You've heard me say that hundreds of times. The administration and the grad committee is very grateful that we didn't have to continually remind, harass, beg, or extend deadlines for all the details you had to attend to around graduation. Yes, you know I lie. However, there is one thing I did not lie about. You might remember this back in September, our very first assembly. I told you 2 things. The second one I'll get to later. But I told you this would be the fastest year of your school life. Was I right? Yeah. Thank you. I love it when I'm right. As you all heard, I'm moving on to another phase of my life along with you. When I retire at the end of June. You know, I kind of feel like I'm graduating. And I know some of you feel that way too, because I really appreciated the invite to your after grad. Wouldn't that be cool, me hanging out with you guys? But I gotta tell you, I'm busy that night. I have to clean up my sock drawer before I retire, so I won't be able to make it. But I do appreciate the invite. But no, I actually graduated 40 years ago this coming June. Yes, 40 years ago, a long time. Back then, the Dead Sea was only sick. History was not even taught as a subject. They just didn't have enough material. I do exaggerate, but things were a little different back then. We weren't part of the World Wide Web. How we exchanged messages was sort of Friday afternoon in math class, we passed notes saying where the action was that night. Invariably, a teacher would intercept it and read it out and they'd be embarrassed. And that was sort of how we communicated. There was no personal listening devices for music. There was sort of a neat invention back then. It was called the 8-track. You remember? This was a thing you sort of tucked under the dash of your car, and it played 8 tracks of music. Now, you either had to have really good shocks, or drive on smooth roads, otherwise it would sort of be warbly. It would sound like one of those Bee Gees songs, you know? I started a joke. Are you guys getting any of this? I know. My point is, 40 years from now, teenagers might be mocking you with your use of iPods, iPads, iPhones, and I don't know what else. Hang on to them, because they will be relics, and they will be appreciated. Speaking of history, with our school first opening in 1876, there are a few graduating classes that have preceded you. I thought it might be nice to go down to the archives and find out some messages from previous administrators to the graduating class. If you haven't been to the archives, check it out. It's awesome. You probably see your parents and grandparents there and all that stuff. I ended up finding some pretty interesting stuff I wanted to share with you. In 1936, a scant 77 years ago, the good times of the Roaring Twenties had given into the hard times of the Dirty 30s, and there were serious rumblings of war in Europe. Then Principal Harry Smith's message to his graduating class was simple. He said, quote, "The kindliness and cooperation that prevail between the staff and students of the Victoria High School have created a spirit of harmony, which has become our most cherished possession. We are all fortunate to live in such an environment, to which the class of 1936 has contributed worthily. Likewise, as you enter the larger world, which lies before you, your success will depend on the measure of your contribution to human welfare." That message, I thought, sort of rings a bell the way things are today, and I wanted to share with you that message. By the way, Harry Smith went on to be Victoria High School's longest reigning principal at 21 years. In his falls, 18 more to go, and you've got it. I'll fast forward quite a few decades and try a decade that you can at least almost relate to. In 1997, most of you were in diapers still probably, Principal Dennis Harrigan exclaimed in the yearbook, "What a great year at Vic High. Our new computer lab with multiple internet access is operational." Then he went on to say, "What impresses me most about Vic High is the acceptance and tolerance we show each other. This is an incredible strength that we should be proud of." Again, sounds pretty familiar. Skip up to 2010, your first year at Vic High. Boy, you guys were cute in grade 9. Your then principal, Mr. Bennett, urged both grads and you returning students to take time to thank the very dedicated teachers and staff of Vic High. They've worked very hard to help you be successful. They are genuinely concerned about your continued success, whether it is here next year or in the next phase of your life. You've had 3 years to fulfill that wish of Mr. Bennett's. Some of you I know have already done so to your teachers. If not, you've only got a few weeks left. I have 2 messages I would like to send you. And of course, you know my speech would not be complete without using some of my basketball coach analogies. They just love these. Both messages come from things I posted in my office. By the way, how many of you have been in my office? Come on. It's not always a bad thing. I gotta preface that. Thanks for being honest. So those of you that have been there know that on one wall, there's a picture of me with basketball star Steve Nash. Steve was someone I had the pleasure to coach against when he played high school ball in Victoria, and is someone who I admire very much for more than just his athletic ability. Steve tells this story in his book entitled Steve Nash, The Making of an MVP. After Steve moved up from junior high ball to his grade 11 year at high school here in Victoria, his then coach asked each of his new players to come in for an individual personal chat. When Steve's turn came, the coach asked him what his personal goals were for his future. Well, Steve, without hesitation, said, "I want to play guard in the NBA." His coach's response was, "You know, Steve, I think you'd be better off if you made your goals a little more realistic." Steve was crushed and ended up changing schools so he could be with a coach that believed in his vision and would help him to accomplish it. Right now, of course, Steve is a 2-time NBA Most Valuable Player and is on his way to being a member of the Hall of Fame. All this from a skinny little kid from Victoria. My point here has little to do with basketball, but more to do with chasing your dream, not letting people tell you what you can't do. Instead, set your standards high. Hard work and perseverance, and yes, sometimes a little bit of good luck, can result in dreams coming true. Chase your dreams, guys. The second item in my office, again, is a basketball story, but not really a basketball story. It's a quote from Michael Jordan, who I think most of you know, maybe the best that ever played the game. And some of you have heard or seen this quote. He goes on to say, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Boy, is it ever easy to move through life without ever attempting that game-winning shot. I would urge all of you, as you move on to the next step in your journey, to attempt that game-winning shot as many times as you can in as many different endeavors that you take on. While others may shy away and be afraid to take the risk, step up, show the courage and fortitude it takes to perform when the stakes are high. Life will be much more rewarding whether you make that shot or not. As I close my address to you, I have to say on behalf on behalf of all of us who sat down with you to complete your favorite grad transitions. How rewarding and inspiring it was to hear your stories. I personally love learning about your passions and accomplishments. I learned a number of things. I learned that one of you is a national level paddler and recently won a provincial contest. One of you loves to play the fiddle to Celtic music. A number of you are attending prestigious universities on full scholarships. One of you speaks 5 different languages. And then there's one who, like me, loves country music. Breen, I'll see you at the Alan Jackson concert this summer. All right. But honestly, guys, thanks for sharing your stories with us. And please, please, please keep in touch to let us know how and where your dreams are playing out. I told you one other thing when we first met as a grad class in September. I said grade 12s are my favorites. Well, I really did mean that. And seeing as how you're my very last grade 12 class, it looks like you will be my favorites forever. I would truly like to thank all of you for helping to make this such a great year, not just for me, but for all of you who are moving on. Finally, enjoy your graduation celebrations. You deserve to do so. But above all else, promise me, promise all of us, you will take good care of each other while doing so, because here at Vic High, that's just what we do. Thanks, guys. Every year, the graduating class elects 2 people, a young lady and a young man, to represent them in the valedictorian address. This is a great honor because, of course, they're respected by their peers to send out a message that represents the entire graduating class. This year, we have 2 very talented speakers that have been elected by their class. I would like to bring them down now, please, for the valedictory address. James Murray and Ileana Turner.
Hello.
So before we begin, I have some business to attend to. So a few months ago, when we were handing in the nomination forms to elect your valedictorians, I promised James that if he ran with me, and if we both won, that we could have victory cakes. So thanks to Hannah Ruth, today I'm able to present my sidekick James with this cake.
Upside down. All right. We would like to welcome the teachers, parents, friends, family, and other assorted muggles who have joined us here, and thank them for being such an extremely supportive and attractive audience. To parents and guardians, we can only imagine the pride and relief you must feel seeing us up here. And it may seem like only yesterday that we were just little kids about to start elementary school, who would scream for you in a Band-Aid if it fell off the playground. And now we're graduating. Or maybe one day you woke up and realized that we're all horrible teenagers who sleep too much or not enough and text you from the next room demanding food. You start thinking to yourself, why? Why is this happening? How long is graduation?
So on behalf of our grad class, we would like to thank you, the parents, family, and guardians, for supporting us, tolerating us, and for providing us with metaphorical band-aids for metaphorical wounds caused by the metaphorical playground of life.
Playing fair, including others, and respect are all valuable lessons that we've learned on the playground and in school that we will continue to use in the future.
Other lessons, such as strength in numbers against an aggressor, become inherently more important as we step into a system that is often fraught with self-preservation, ignorance, and unwillingness to act. But we are the generation that has the potential to enact change like no other, and although it may seem impossible, change is always constant. The monkey bars start to look smaller and smaller, the swings don't seem so high, and we find ourselves as the big kids, either using our power and position to help or to harm.
But like Kurt Vonnegut said, true terror is to wake up one morning and discover that your high school class is running the country. This will be our reality one day. So now we would like to focus on Vic High, a school that has influenced us so much over these past 4 years and will continue to influence us for the rest of our lives. It is truly an honor to have attended a school so rich with history. Vic High has made it through times of poverty, war, and although it has faced many hardships in its lifetime, as we all will, the grass is always greener on the other side. And I mean that quite literally. The greenness of our grass all year round is uncanny. Vic High has provided education to young whippersnappers like us for over 137 years, which coincidentally just about equals the amount of stairs the cap to climb. Or should I say had to climb, to get from the first floor to the fourth floor so many times during our time at Vic High. Although many of us have struggled so very hard to make it to where we are today, we're all better for it. And as our school's motto states in Latin, get her done. Or no reward without effort.
Our school is definitely a character-building one, with the never-ending stairs and days spent freezing after any holiday. There were days when we looked out of the drafty windows and cursed its historical yet endearing characteristics. But it's okay, because with its hallowed halls and marble bathrooms, every student eventually comes to the realization that this is the closest to Hogwarts we will ever get. With Miss Falls' McGonagall-like intensity, James's Neville-esque improvement, and the almost yearly rotation of vice principals, not unlike defense against the dark arts teachers. The only thing we're missing is a majestic hippogriff lounging on the front lawn with a burly half-giant to care for it. Or maybe that's just Mr. Christensen. Speaking
of teachers, they are most definitely part of what makes Vic High so great. It's astonishing that they've managed to put up with us for these last 4 years, and some of them have even been teaching hooligans like us for nearly twice as long as we've even been alive. Truly amazing. But seriously, the teachers of Vic High, I believe, are truly cut from a different cloth, in a good way. As we near the conclusion of our high school lives, with exams being the final obstacle in our path, I find myself, as I'm sure many of you find yourselves, looking back and appreciating all the help and support that we've received from our teachers over the years, even if they were the ones causing us to stress out and seek help in the first place. I'm speaking on behalf of my entire grad class here, so I know I can't say that every single teacher at Vic High is a saint, but I do believe I'm safe in saying that at least Mr. Young is pretty damn close. Now we would like to address the grad class of 2013.
I would tell you how great you all are, but you all already know that. We've been together for 4 years, or maybe 2 or 3, or maybe just a semester. But whether you like it or not, we've all influenced each other. This influence seems to be for the better, though. As someone who's had a chance to look back on her grade 9 yearbook, I can assure you that we have all come a very, very long way. But we still have a long way to go, and in regards to the near future, I would like to offer one of my favorite quotes from Howard Thomas, which is, "Don't do what the world needs, do what makes you come alive, because what the world needs is people who have come alive." If you've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, or work with kids, or be a physiotherapist, or go to space, do it. You have all the capabilities and resources within and around you. Do what inspires you. Or maybe you have no idea what you want to do and you're tired of these speeches, and that's fine too. But do what makes you happy, because even though we're all special as snowflakes, we're not all going to be the greatest. We're not all going to be business leaders. We're not all going to make six-figure salaries. We're not all going to be world-renowned. But that doesn't make us unsuccessful, because even though we can't all be great, we can all be happy. So enjoy your life and the people you let into your life. Do what you love what you do, and this is basically just a Dr. Seuss quote now. But on this amazing and or possibly mediocre journey that we're about to embark on towards the rest of our lives, there are going to be setbacks, and not just speed bumps, ditches that you run into. There are going to be times when you're going to want to move into your parents' basements, make a binding contract with sweatpants, and officially declare Nutella as your significant other. I've looked into it, I've been there. But when those moments happen, I want you to remember when you were in grade 9, sitting in the auditorium at Vic High, on the last day of classes before winter break, watching the talent show. And on stage, emerging from the wings, was a group of male Vic High teachers dressed as women. We were confused, surprised, and a little bit baffled. But most of all, you were happy you chose Vic High.
Our school has a reputation of being
Setting and inclusive.
which is a reputation to be immensely proud of. Athletics and academics only go so far without a foundation that promotes acceptance, is inclusive, and honors diversity.
There are times when the collective is more important than competition, because really, we're all just kids on the playground looking for a push on the swings. So thank you, Big High, and in the words of J.K. Rowling, let us step into the night and pursue that flighty temptress, adventure. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for sharing those thoughts and stories. Grads, it's such a pleasure to address you this evening with some closing remarks, and as much as my entrance may have you think tonight's all about me, in fact it is all about you. And my apologies to Kevin and Abe for being late for your grad. There's a story, you'll hear it one day. Not tonight. What a great graduation ceremony this evening. You're an amazing group of individuals, and I stress the individual piece. Each of you have your own strengths and dreams and have overcome a variety of challenges in your journey towards this grad. When not in class, I know you spend your time on the grounds by Ferry Tech, making music with your friends, or perhaps you're on the third floor, working with Ms. O'Hara on resumes, scholarships, or maybe grad transitions, some of you still. And maybe you're working in an auto body shop or with the district electricians for your career prep work experience. Maybe Banfield Marine Station opened your eyes to the options outside of the hallowed walls of Vic High. I could go on, but the bottom line is, as much as you are the author of your future, you have had a number of supportive ghost writers as well. So when we consider the supports you've had, we think obviously of your family, parents, guardians, thank you. You have sent us your best. Thank you, parents. Thank you so much for the great things you've done and continue to do. We think also of all the teachers and support staff who have journeyed with you. I did something this year that I haven't done in the past. I've always promised myself I would do this, and I was pleased I did it this year. I sent a list of the graduates to all our family of schools, so our typical elementary and middle school. And I wanted them to know who is graduating from Victoria High School. And I need you to know that their good wishes are with you tonight. I'm not going to mention the notes expressing surprise that some of you were graduating. I think it was more based on the idea of time flying, not what? So, I think it was a really genuine thought. And of course, our own staff tonight, our Big High teachers and staff who have helped you on this journey, some of you for 4 years, most of you. And at this point, staff, you know I asked you to do this. I'd like to ask the Big High staff to stand and be recognized, please. Please, Big High staff. One I came across was, teachers open the door, but you enter by yourself. And I saw this with things like the Garden Project and with your work experience programs and our sports teams and some of the portfolios you've pulled together for scholarships. You've done it on your own, and you've done an amazingly great job. Take pride in your life, enjoy each moment, work for the success you deserve. It won't be delivered to you. Own that thought. You, the class of 2013, have made us all very proud, and I hope you are proud of yourselves. And so as Bob Dylan, through Naomi and Talia, wished, may all your wishes come true. May you always do for others. May you always be courageous, stand upright, and be strong. You will always be a Big High grad. Come back and see us, and share your stories. You've had 4 years together, and make it count. Ladies and gentlemen, just before we move on to the final pieces, I need to thank a few people. This evening is not possible with the help of so many hands, and I'd like to thank, please, Joanne Wong, Jack Petley-Jones, Martha Wiedeker, and Malcolm Snedden for sharing the student stories with us. Thank you very much. Kevin Blessick, Lisa Roy, Ann Field, Eric Amity, Carrie Critch, Joanne Long, and Aaron Finlayson, thank you so much for helping us prepare the students. Vice Principals Grant Boland and Ralph Walker, thank you so much. You're a great team. I love working with you on these events. And most importantly, huge thanks to Admin Assistant Laura Smith and Career Center Coordinator Shelley O'Hara. Without you, the late night lists and organizing and chasing students, it wouldn't have happened so smoothly. Laura and Shelley, thank you so much. And now we turn it back to Mr. Boland, who does have fond memories of his summer of '69. And we'll lead the students in the song that the grad class chose.
No, I wasn't taking summer school. Every year the grad class votes and chooses a song that they're going to present at the end of the ceremony. It's always a little controversial, but that's part of the fun we have. And this year, they have chosen a song by a good old BC boy, and we're going to be accompanied live this year, no karaoke for us. They're going to do a song called Summer of '69, and yet none of them are around yet. But this song is all about memories, friends, good times, and in fact, the best times of their lives. So here it comes, Summer of '69.
I'm gonna
end of graduation spirit song for Vic High. And students, this is a grad gift to you from Mr. Boland. It is your keeper. Tried to get the tassel that had a little Mr. Boland on it. They said, no, we have to get 2013. It's all up to your memory. All right, Mr. Boland.
Wasn't easy having to lie at you all who kept asking me about the caps, by the way. A couple of mums did too, I might add. We always end our Vic High graduation ceremony with the traditional spirit song. Any of you Vic High grads out there, feel free to sing along with us. We're going to sing Come Give a Cheer. Just before we come to a conclusion, we would like to invite all friends, families, and guests to our reception that will be held in the cafeteria right across the hallway from here. Obviously, there'll be some wanting to do some photo ops as well with your beautiful new caps. We would ask that we let the graduates exit the auditorium first, and then you may follow them out. Grads, a reminder, we do have to hand in our gowns. And that's our thing I keep forgetting the name of. Hang on to your caps. I would just like to, one final time, let's hear it for the Victoria High School graduates.